Welcome to Rom Wills, Money Matters. Pay attention to these layoffs and strikes. I'm gonna tell you something now. They may have a layoff somewhere or a strike somewhere, and you might think, this ain't gonna bother me. Or they still in business. You never know how something can affect you. I give you a great example. Now they kind of dealt with the possibility of that UPS strike. What happens? What would happen if they did go on strike? How many businesses are affected by UPS? Yeah, they got other companies, but could the other companies handle the sudden uptick in services they need to provide? They might not be prepared. Like UPS, they ubiquitous. I see about 4 or 5 trucks a day, not even trying, just driving up and down the street. But what happens if they were on strike? They weren't working. Now, you might still say that don't bother me, but so many businesses are online. You got so many businesses that have accounts with UPS, and they count on it. That's part of their business. They can tell a customer, "Hey, I'm gonna send this to you UPS. Get it, they're liquidly split." You know, and indeed, that's part of your business so much that can be a tax write-off for you. You know, that's a tax write-off. So it plays an integral part. So. You might not be in a position. Yeah, you could probably get an account with another company, but you never know how that could affect it. That's just one way. Or say it's even a bit. Even though I didn't put this in the title, say it's a business closing, like some factory or something closing. You might not think about it, but what about all the businesses that are near there? Especially, say you have a brick and mortar business and you sell donuts. That's all you doing, making some donuts. But then somebody, the brick and mortar major business next to you, they either have a strike, which means people ain't working, which means they ain't coming into your place, or layoffs, which means not as many people are coming, or they even go out of business. Think about it. That can affect you. And you got to look at it on a deep level. Like I give a great example. Now, what I do, on the surface, it don't look like it's touched by strikes. Just the YouTube. And I make my money on YouTube through the ads and everything. All right. One thing when I'll check out the videos and I'll check out the ads, I get a lot of stuff for movies. Okay, you might say, well, you getting those ads for the movies. But here's an issue. What major strikes we have going on now? A writer strike and an actor strike. Actor strike means writers and actors. That affects so much, way bigger than me. I'll get into that in a second. Shoot, because writers, they writing all these movies, they writing these TV shows. That was bad enough. But then you get the actors. Those actors, the ones who are really generating the funds, because people are paying for this media because they want to see particular actors. Okay, they're not working. And you're thinking, Ron, that still couldn't affect I make a lot of my money through trailers, movie trailers. If they're not making movies, they're not making trailers, they're not on my channel. And I'm like, Now, yeah, I got there's plenty other type of ads, but no telling, I could take a dip right there just because there aren't any trailers on my channel. And that's just small. Let's go into that industry itself. If you watch any movie, just watch the credits. In fact, if you on Netflix or something, you got that movie, skip all the way to the end and just watch the credits. There's a lot of people who make money who aren't the writers or the actors. And not even the producers or directors. And that's one, but think of all the background people. Especially if it's like one of these science fiction movies or something where they got to have a whole lot of people. Those lists be long. It's not an exaggeration to say you got some movies. There's the people that they got 1,000 different names in the credits, and it's not the actors or producers or directors. That's just a tiny part. You got all these support people. In fact, I was watching something. I think it was on the Disney Plus, one of those superhero flicks. They were listing the people who were dubbing the people. If their series was shown over in Spain or France, they had to have people speak those languages. So you have so many people affected. So who does that affect? That means they're not getting paid, which means they're not spending money on certain things. And you just pay attention to it, because I'm gonna tell you how deep it is. A strike in one area, even though you can look at it and say, oh, shoot, this don't directly affect me in business. But it could affect somebody it could affect somebody who you do business with. Let me use the ads again. Now, I talked about the trailers, but what if, that strike affects someone else in my business? It affects some other ads. They can't do any ads because their business was touched by this other business. It could be the degree of connection could be like 5 different businesses between those going on strike or those laying off and your actual business. So it's not direct, but then indirectly you're affected by that. And then all of a sudden you're like, wait a minute, why there's a dip in my money? And you're not even thinking about why. You never, shoot. Indeed, sometimes some companies, they'll go up in price in something. You never know. You might have to spend more money somewhere on some products. You're going in a department store just to buy some pants or something. All of a sudden you're spending more money on it. You can't figure out why. It was like, oh, wait a minute, the delivery service are out. Or they went on strike at a key point in the supply chain. Or they had major layoffs, so they don't have major people. You got to pay attention. See, one of the things is everything affects everything else. Everything affects everything else, though not directly. Some people, they might be in a position where it's not affected as much, just by the nature. But it could be. It could be, And you never know what'll happen, who will strike at the right place. Like you got this United Auto Workers strike. That's definitely going to affect production. But those cars not rolling off the line, how many car dealerships need those cars? And then who's working at the car dealerships? You got the salespeople, you got the mechanics. Seriously, you start thinking, oh, wait a minute, you also got the trailer drivers who are taking those cars to the place. And you see, everything, somebody get touched one way or the other. So you need to pay attention. Make sure that you're in a position that, one, you know what's happening. You got to pay attention. And then you might, this is yet another reason to have savings. You never know when your stuff might take a dip out of something is seemingly not affecting you directly, but indirectly. And then you never know how one thing touches the other. So always pay attention to it, all right? Always pay attention. So that's all I have for today. But regardless of whatever's going on, we still got to make that money. So y'all know the deal. Let's go make that money.